Okay guys, in this video we're going to be trying to differentiate between when two angles are equal to each other or when two angles add up to something. Also when two segments are equal to each other or when two segments add up to something. Throughout the video, after a problem, it will pause and ask you to answer. Once you select that answer, the video will proceed. Okay, so it says let's practice what we know about angles. We know these two things. We know this, that when a ray bisects an angle, we know that that means that the two angles ABD and DBC are congruent, which is just a fancy way of saying equal. So I know that this equals this, okay? We also know that same picture, but they don't give me this information, okay? I know nothing other than these two angles are next to each other. So what I know is that angle ABD plus angle BDC must add up to angle ABD, whatever those numbers are, okay? So actually, this one is special. I do know on this left-hand one that ABD and DBC also add up to angle ABC, just like what's stated in green, but it's special because I know for sure that BD is the bisector, meaning it cuts it in two equal angles, okay? So how will that look different on problems? Okay, so it says set up an equation for each situation, okay? So in this situation, again, BD bisects angle ABC, and I tell you that angle ABD is 47. So I need to know what equation I could make, since I know that ABD is equal to BDC, what equation could I make? Okay, hopefully you selected that since ABD is 47, you can put that in here, so 47 degrees is equal to angle DBC. That's what I know. Okay, sorry about my messy writing. On number 2, again, I have no idea if BD is the bisector. It doesn't say that. Okay, it's a different problem. Okay, I need to know what equation can I set up in order to figure out how much angle ABC is. Okay. So hopefully you took the 47 and put it in for ABD and put the 40 in for DBC. So you said 47 plus 40 equals angle ABC. And then of course you could add those together to get your final answer. Okay. Similar types of problems. Notice neither one of these say that there's a bisector, but there's marks on one of them that are a big hint to the fact that there is an angle bisector, okay? So look at number 3 first, okay? I told you that ABT is 9x and TBC is 4x plus 20, and I told you that the whole angle is 59, okay? So you need to decide, are you gonna add these two up and set them equal to 59, or are you just gonna set these two equal? Okay, hopefully you didn't say they were equal because there's no marks here to tell me that these are equal, and it doesn't say anywhere on here that BT is the bisector. So you would set this up as 9x plus 4x plus 20 equals 59, okay? I'm going to assume you can proceed by solving this in algebra, so I'm not going to finish that up, okay? On number 4. Okay, on this one, again, you want to decide, are you going to add these up and set them equal to something, or are you going to set these equal to each other based on what you see in the diagram? Okay, hopefully you notice that there's an arc mark, one single arc mark on ABT and one single arc mark on TBC, which tells me that 9x is the exact same size as 4x plus 20. On this, you would subtract the 4x from both sides and divide by 5. Okay, next one. Set up an equation for each situation. Okay, again, and I went ahead on these ones and I left the original information that I had written in. Okay, so go ahead and set up an equation for number 5. Okay, so on this one, I didn't give you either of the pieces. I gave you the whole thing, but I did tell you BD bisects. So what that tells me is ABD and DBC together add up to 106. So really, ABD and DBC, even though they're equal, okay, so you might do this. You might say x equals x, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but then I know that x plus x equals 106, right? So basically, two of these that are the same equal 106. So really, you have 2x equals 106. Whoops, 106, and divide by 2. You get x is 53. Now, some of you might look at this and say, well, I didn't do that much work. No, because since these are the same, to get one of them, all you would have to do is take 106 divided by 2. Okay? Number 6. Go ahead and set up an equation for number 6. Notice that ABC is a straight angle. Okay, so on this one, since ABD right here, ABD is 5x plus 60 and DBC is 7x, then I can say 5x plus 60 plus 7x equals. Now here's the problem. They did not give me a number for ABC, but it is a straight angle. And remember how many degrees a straight angle is? 180. Okay. Since these like terms are on the same side together, I'll add those up. Okay, and now you've got a pretty little algebra equation that I know you know how to solve. Okay, let's move on to segments. All right, so segments. Similar to angles, we can know that M is the midpoint of segment PQ, which a midpoint, remember, divides a segment into two congruent segments. Therefore, I know that PM is congruent to MQ. Okay. We also might not know that M is the midpoint and only have a diagram. Okay. So all I know in this situation is that PM and MQ together make up PQ. That was the segment addition postulate. Okay. So how do those look in problems? They look like this. Okay. M is the midpoint of PQ. And I tell you that the whole thing is 28. Okay, so take a minute to choose an equation that you could use to solve. Okay, hopefully you realize since there's two of these that are equal, that you can literally just take 28 divided by 2, and that should give you either one, PM or MQ. Number 8, I am not told that M is the midpoint. I do not know. So I got to use this. Go ahead and take a minute to choose your equation. Okay, since PM is 12 and I don't know MQ and I know that PQ is 28, I would say 12 plus MQ equals 28. So really what I'm doing is I'm subtracting 12. MQ equals 16. Sorry, my writing is terrible. Okay. All right, now pay close attention to which one has the tick marks and which one doesn't. Set up an equation for each one. For number 9 first. Okay, I do not know that B is the midpoint. That was not told to me. So what I know is that 4x plus 2x plus 6 has to add up to 48. I'm having some issues with my pluses. Okay, number 10. Go ahead and set up number 10. Okay, since I do have the tick marks telling me that M is the midpoint, I know that these are equal. So I can either say 48 equals 4x or 4x equals 48. It doesn't matter. Divide by 4, so we get x is 12 on this one. I never did solve number 9. I can put those together. 6x plus 6, equals 48. Subtract 6. And so x equals 7 on this one. Okay. Okay, again, I need a setup for each of these. Be careful. Number 11, what's your setup going to be? Okay, and I'm not gonna tell you the answer yet. Go ahead and set up number 12. Okay, so there are no tick marks on either picture. Okay, however, they did tell me that M is the midpoint of AB on number 11. So that tells me that 5x is equal to 35. On number 12, they did not tell me B is the midpoint, so I know that the two parts add up to 60. Okay, so on number 11, I divide by 5 and get x is 7. On number 12, I would add those 20x like terms, and I get x is 3. Okay, one last set of information. Remember the midpoint formula. Okay, remember we talked about that if you want to average two grades, you're just going to add those two grades and divide by 2. Okay, this has two parts to it because there's the x's that have to be averaged and the y's that have to be averaged. Okay, so I'm going to start by doing the x's. Okay, so on number 13, those are my x values, so I'll add those together first. So I get 1 plus negative 7 over 2, which adds up to negative 6 over 2, which is negative 3. Okay. And then I've got the y's. I want to add those, which in this case are 6 and 4. So 6 plus 4 divided by 2, that would be 10 divided by 2, or 5. Okay, so that's the midpoint of A and B. Okay, now you go ahead and choose what is the correct setup for number 14. Okay, hopefully you selected negative 2 plus 8, all of that divided by 2, and then 3 plus negative 5, all of that divided by 2. Okay, so we get 6 divided by 2 and negative 2 divided by 2. So there's my midpoint. All right.